Hello guys and dolls, and welcome back. It's me, Cora. Today I'm going to be bringing you the blush tag, and I'm really excited about this. I love blush, and I was tagged on Instagram by Ebby Loves Makeup, Heather, hi. And this was apparently originally a French tag, and it was translated by Not Your Typical Doll Face, Sarah. So I'm pretty excited about this. It's, you know, an opportunity to talk at length about blush and kind of qualify, like, why do I like this and why do I like that? It's just kind of fun to do this. This is not to be taken super seriously. I'm sure I've missed some that are favorites. I'm sure that I've missed some that I don't love so much, but really this is just about kind of a fun tag and just having a good time with some makeup talk. So in this tag on Instagram, my friend Samantha was also tagged, so I said, hey, do you want to do this as a collab? And she said, yeah, man, let's make it happen. I don't think she actually said that, but if you want to go ahead and check out Samantha's channel, it is amazing. If you like my videos, I'm sure you will like her too. She's fun and bubbly, and I just adore her so much. I've actually met her in person several times, and she's just exactly as cool in person as she is in her videos. I'll have a link to it in the description bar down below, and I will also have a list of all the questions and all of my answers in the description bar down below. So the first question is best packaging, and I'm gonna have to go with the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow. I mean, this is beyond beautiful. This is just fan-freaking-tastic. It is so art deco. It's so vintage. It looks like a vintage cigarette case, which obviously cigarettes are nasty, not really into it. But I kind of like the idea of taking an object that is in and of itself beautiful and repurposing it for something else. I mean, obviously this is a brand new packaging, but like repurposing like the style of something. So this is technically a bronzer and a highlight powder, so I'm kind of cheating on that one, but I swear that's my only cheat. Kind of, sort of. It's also one I almost never use because the colors don't really suit me, but this is something that I'm happy to have in my collection because it's so gorgeous in the packaging. I mean, it's actually metal, so this can actually go in like my vintage makeup collection and stuff like that. I can like scoop the powder out or whatever. So the second question is Prettiest Color, and for that I'm gonna have to go with Makeup Geek Spellbound. This blush goes with literally everything. It is so beautiful. So many people love this blush. I'm excited about it. I thought it was just like me that was geeky about it, but Makeup Geek. Funny puns. It's really such a gorgeous color, and it doesn't really look like much in the pan, but once you put it on your face, it works every single time. I have never put this on my face and thought, shouldn't have done that. And there are some blushes out there where you're like, oh crap, this is just... Some that are very like specific to like a warm look or a cool look, but that one really works with either, both, anything. So the next question is most pigmented, and actually this is a Inglot blush. You can see I haven't bought any more. I bought this first blush and it was so pigmented, it's like eyeshadow. That's kind of cool, but I don't really want or need blush that's this pigmented. I'm very fair skinned. I could see how that would be amazing for people with deep skin, but it's kind of powdery, and it's not my thing. So I actually tend to like blushes that have a really beautiful texture and maybe less pigmentation, whereas this one's just sort of powdery and has a lot of pigmentation. So for me, it's kind of like an eyeshadow. I've actually used it as an eyeshadow several times. But for me, for blush, I tend to prefer it to be maybe less pigmented than that, but I like a more refined texture. So speaking of, my next one is my everyday blush, which is my Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic and First Love. OMFG. This is one of my all-time favorite blushes. I use it all the time. Yes, it looks like a boob. When I posted my original review for this like a year and a half ago, everyone was like, that looks like a boob and a nipple. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, when you do it like this, it really looks like a pair of knockers. This is what I was talking about, like in terms of texturally. This has such a beautiful texture, and I think that's really important for blush products because it's going on your cheek, which is kind of a large area of skin, and you want it to have a beautiful glowy, at least I want it to have a beautiful glowy texture, or matte. Sometimes you don't want to glow, but you want the texture to be nice. Can we agree? Yeah. I adore the color of this. It's such a beautiful, warm, refined texture, beautiful blush. Every time I use this, I'm just happy. I'm just happy when I use this blush. I also really love the packaging of this as well. I think the Charlotte Tilbury range has some really, in fact, while we're at it, totally unrelated but kind of related to this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold packaging. The bar itself is beautiful, and actually the highlight powder is beautiful, but like this is a cardboard box. Charlotte Tilbury's packaging is usually so on point, and then that was like half amazing and half kind of sucky. I didn't actually buy that. Beautylish sent it to me, so maybe I shouldn't complain because I myself didn't buy it. But I can't recommend this to anyone because I think that this is, you know, for what this costs, this should be in nicer packaging. Question number 5 is Party Blush, and I'm not really sure I know what Party Blush is. Okay, I'm being kind of glib here. I guess if like you wear less makeup on the daily, you might have like a going out blush, like maybe something that's sparkly or maybe something that is a brighter color than what you would normally wear. But I wear like crazy ass shit on the daily. I just love makeup. You guys know that, and I'm not afraid to kind of go there. For me, I don't have a party blush. I don't have one special one that I wear on special occasions or anything like that. I try to spread the love. So instead of a party blush, I'm going to go with a blush party. This is the Gwen Stefani blush palette. One of my favorite things. It's such a beautiful combination of colors. They all flatter me really well. Textures, you've got matte, you've got actually a highlight color, and this one's a little bit of a duochrome. So for going with like the technical definition of a party blush, like something that's like special, I would say the OC because it has a duochrome and that's just kind of special for a blush. So the next question is regret purchasing. And this one's hard. I have a lot of blushes probably that I've bought that I don't use very much. MAC comes out with like a million amazing collaborations, right? And I've kind of accepted the fact that I just sort of collect them and sometimes don't use them. But this one in particular I felt really stupid for. So this is the MAC Toledo collection. Here's the packaging. OMG, so beautiful, right? And actually the blush is gorgeous too. And I regret purchasing it, not because it's ugly or anything. It's a beautiful blush, but because I have literally never even swatched this. I have never even touched my finger or a brush to it. And that is stupid. That proves that I should not have bought it if I'm not going to use it. Now, if it's like a backup product, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. You know what? Honestly, even there, because I at one point bought a bunch of backups of exposed blush from Tarte and I've never even used up the original pan because blush lasts forever. Right here with you guys, I'm going to take a little eyeshadow brush. Really? Okay, now I regret buying it because it sucks. I keep this around as like a reminder to myself to not buy things just for the packaging. If you think something is gorgeous and it has special packaging, or it has like some kind of like special meaning to you, like for instance, my Moon River blush from MAC, I love that thing. I almost never use it because the color isn't really my favorite. But Moon River was our wedding song. We both walked up the aisle to it, so it's very, very special to me. This has no emotional weight for me. Turns out I don't even really like the color, and this doesn't enhance my blush collection because it doesn't make me happy. The next question is least used, and this is kind of a tie-in to the last one. This is the Milani Coral Cove Powder Blush. A couple of years ago, they came out with 3 of these beautiful rose embossed blushes, and I don't know why I don't use it. No, I do know why I don't use it. I don't use it because I'm afraid the embossing's gonna go away, but it's pretty deep. I really ought to use this more often, especially since the color is absolutely gorgeous. This is one of those ones that I don't use, and I like kind of beat myself up about it every time I like dip into that drawer and I'm like, why have I not used this blush in a long time? It's gorgeous. The colors are fantastic. There was also one called Tea Rose from the same collection. Oh my god, so gorgeous. Those 2 are my favorites. I think there was another one that was a little more like cool toned, and that one I've got a warmer thing going on. So cooler tone things are kind of less my thing, but yeah. Least used, but not because it's not awesome, just because I suck at remembering to use it. So the next question is most used, would never let go of. So this one kind of makes me a little sad. This is my favorite Gotta Have It contour color. This is NYX Blush in Taupe, and you can see that mine has seen better days. Now I do have one backup. And this is one instance where buying a backup totally paid off because they don't make this anymore. They discontinued it. I know NYX has like their HD blush and they have a color called Taupe, but I swear to you the color is different. It is not the same. So at this point, like, this is pretty grody looking, and normally I would have gotten rid of a blush that looked like this. I would have, replaced it or whatever when it starts to look kind of, I don't even know what to call this. Normally when I hit pan on something and there's like a big hole in it, I call it belly buttoning. It's something I picked up when I worked at Sephora. I don't know. This is pretty like janky looking. This is really kind of embarrassing to pull out of my makeup bag. So I do have this backup, but when this is gone, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have not found a replacement. So to explain what makes this so special is that it's a gray toned taupe, but it has a little bit of pink in it. So like some that are kind of gray toned, they just kind of give you this gross, dirty look on your face. Not cool. But this has enough of a pink base to it that it has such a beautiful, natural, shaded look on fair skin. The other thing is too, and this kind of ties into like my gripes about some of these others, it has enough pigmentation, but it's not mega pigmented, because that's the other thing too with contour, especially powder contour. Oh goodness. If you put, I'm all, oh goodness, that was my grandmother coming out of my mouth. If you put too much on, it's almost impossible to blend out. Whereas this one, because it's got a great texture and it's lighter in pigmentation, it's so easy to blend out. I can actually like put this on like super heavy handed and then blend it out and it still looks good. So the next question is favorite blush brand, and I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, I do not have one. I love so many different blushes from so many different companies. The first one that kind of popped into my mind was Tarte, because I really do love their blushes, but I also really love Makeup Geek. So if anything, it's maybe like a toss-up between those two, but really I don't have one, because I also really love my MAC blushes, and I really love, you know, Wet n Wild, and I also really love, you know, this next one that I'm going to show. I don't have a favorite blush brand, and I don't think you should limit yourself. I think you should branch out and try all that there is in the world of blush. So the next question is greatest blush discovery of the last year. So for me, it was this little Becca Jam right here. This is the Beach Tint in Fig Opal. First of all, you guys might have noticed I don't really use cream blush, like ever. I have oily skin. It's like dry in patches, but like on my cheek area, I tend to be pretty oily. So even though I found some really amazing cream blushes, like in the back of my mind, it's like a roadblock. It's like, don't use cream blush, it's gonna get gross. This one is so cool. It is a like I'm gonna like touch it. It's like a spongy, weird texture. So it's not super creamy. And then it has a little bit of shimmer to it, which is just beautiful and glowy on the cheek. And most importantly, one of the main reasons why I don't use cream blushes is because I usually do my blush sort of like after I've done my powder and everything. So then I don't want to put a cream on top of that. Whereas this is I would just call it like a mousse type blush that will actually go on top of powder and look amazing and glowy and gorgeous. And it's very easy to take with you to touch up if you need to. Not that I usually need to, but I still throw it on my bag just in case, because blush does tend to kind of fade. And I also will put this on top of any other blush I've worn. Definitely one of my favorite makeup discoveries, and it's also definitely my favorite blush discovery, especially since I think a lot of these on the list I've actually had for a year or so. Lately I've been more into highlight powders. Should we do one of these tags with highlight powders? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, so the next question is most practical, and I'm gonna have to go with the Tarte blushes for 2 or 3 reasons. First of all, they're all really gorgeous. They are fabulously pigmented. Again, the texture is gorgeous. But the reason why they're the most practical is because the compact color is the color of the blush. So if you have multiples of them in a drawer, you can immediately tell which one it is. Whereas something like the Charlotte Tilbury one, they all kind of look the same from the outside, so you gotta open it up and like look at, not that I have like 16 of these lying around, because these bad boys are like 40 something, $44 or something. I have 2. The other reason why I feel like this is one of the most practical blush packaging is because they are magnetized. And they have a little pokey hole thing, grab like a little hairpin or whatever, and it just pops out. So you can then quickly put this in a Z palette or whatever and travel with it, but you can also have it in the compact at home, which I really, really, really love, and I wish more companies would get on board with the whole magnetic makeup packaging thing. Thank you, Tarte, for being so awesome. Next question is least practical, and I feel for this one it's really just any blush that you don't use, or that the color's kind of hard for you to use. So for instance, mine is Crazed Imagination that came out with MAC for the Rocky Horror Picture Show collection. Now, to be clear, I will never get rid of this blush because Rocky Horror Picture Show has such an emotional meaning for me. So that's kind of tying it into like, sometimes I think it's okay to collect makeup where there's like some sort of an emotional tie-in. This makes me happy every single time I look at this compact, because me and my mom and my whole family, we just love Rocky Horror. And also this color is beautiful, and I've used this as an eyeshadow, but as a blush, it's not really my favorite. It doesn't really work for me. I think it's worked better when my hair was pink, if I remember correctly. But now that I have the red hair, although who knows how long that'll last, As you know, I'm a little crazy like that. It's not one I wear very often, and honestly I just had to pick one for least practical, so that's kind of... Most expensive would technically be the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow, but if we're assuming that that's sort of cheating because this is kind of a double product and also because it's technically a bronzer, then I will say the Bobbi Brown Brightening Brick. This is like $45 or something like this. Again, one I haven't used because honestly I didn't buy this. This was given to me when I did that glam like beauty 100 and I was judging all the beauty products, so it kind of came into my life in a way to where I didn't feel the need that I needed to like review it right away. In any case, it's a very, very beautiful blush and I'm quite happy to have it in my collection even though it's kind of expensive. That's why I only have the one. And then least expensive, this one was my favorite because I got to talk about Wet n Wild. So these blushes are freaking flip flamin' jim jammin' amazing. That was my attempt at not cursing. These are so pigmented. In fact, these were almost my most pigmented on the list, but I realized that I had this Inglot blush where I like bought the one and I was like, oh my god, I don't really like this that much. These are both pigmented and they make beautiful blushes. The textures are gorgeous. In fact, I would almost go as far to say this is one of my favorites. I just wish there was more of a color selection. I have a couple of different shades, but my favorites are Berry Shimmer and my absolute favorite is Heather Silk. In fact, at one point on YouTube, I feel like I was using this blush in like every single tutorial, and then I had to just stop myself from using it because I'm like, dude, you have to give your other blushes some love. But Heather Silk is definitely one of my favorite blushes, and Berry Shimmer is universally flattering. This works on literally everyone. You might have to use a light hand if you're very, very fair like me, but it will still work on you. So that is it for my blush tag. This was a really fun video to kind of go through my stash and decide which one was in each category. It's sort of like the Academy Awards of blush. By the way, congratulations, Leo, about damn time. Let's all go ahead and pop on over to my friend Samantha's channel. I will have a link for her video in the description bar down below. And also let me know if you guys are interested in one of these videos with like highlighters or eyeshadow or just whatever. Let me know what you guys want to see in the comment section down below. And that's it. Hope you're having a great day and I'll see you in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky. Just be your own kind of beautiful. See you, bye.